Hi guys. This week we'll be focusing on teaching strategies, specifically strategies and skills necessary to be successful in working with adults in an adult setting. So hopefully this information is useful for you as you prepare kind of the assignments for the rest of the semester. So I am hopeful that it'll be something that you can use because you have to use different things, right, to be strategic and energetic and be able to work with students in a way that's effective, right? So group learning is important, and this has been a shift, right? In the past, I think, especially in a university setting, there was a tradition of more of a one-way communication, professor teaching to students in a lecture format and very rigid, very structured, and students were supposed to learn in a very kind of one-way model, right? That's changed over time, as you probably can tell, and if you've seen yourself as students, there's a shift more to group learning where students can interact with each other. The professor serves more of as a liaison, somebody who works to facilitate a learning process. And that's been a shift. I think a lot of universities have changed over the last maybe 15, 20 years from what used to be traditionally a professor very rigidly lecturing to students to more of group projects, video technology, and other things that we'll be talking about tonight. So again, some of you will see that it's effective. Others prefer the traditional route, but I think we would all agree that um, as a strategy, as a teaching strategy, it's shifted more. Another thing you'll see about when you talk about adult learning and teaching strategy is that experiential learning, right? The importance of transferring learning to the real world. And so I know I'm big on this. Every one of my courses, I try to make sure that students can transfer the learning that they've done into the real world, whether it's into the workforce, whether it's into their role as professionals. It's important that everything that we're teaching at the university is directly connected to a skill or an experience that students will then have to apply as professionals in the field. So I'm big on this. Every one of my courses have that. Another strategy that a lot of people use, especially in graduate school or even community college, is writing, using writing to be able to teach as a strategy, right? And that can be sort of different ways, right? One is high stake versus low stake. So high stake could be the example of you make the final a 50% of the grade writing essay, right? That's a high stake. A lot is writing on the grade depending on how well the student does. Low stake could be the example of doing maybe weekly reflections, right? Where it's smaller points and gradually kind of builds up. Grading of papers is important, but it's also something to think about, right? It will take a lot of time from you as a professor to be able to provide quality feedback to students based on long-term papers if you assign them, right? Spelling and grammar, that consistently is a challenge for students to be able to uh, demonstrate the appropriate spelling and grammar. Not so much in graduate school, but definitely something you'll find yourself being challenged at the community college level where students are coming in at different levels of writing. And then plagiarism, that's another big thing that you have to deal with. So teaching with technology, this can be very controversial. Some students really gravitate towards this. Other students really shy away from technology. I think it's a very timely topic given that we're in this pandemic with COVID-19 and everyone is being kind of forced to be able to teach and learn with the use of technology. So I think for this week, a lot of the conversations will be very interesting to get your take. This course has traditionally been either considered either a hybrid or fully online course. Um, so it's a little different, but teaching with technology is really critical, right? And as you look at it, you want to look at it in different perspectives, right? The role of the instructor, first off, is the instructor skilled enough to be able to incorporate technology? Does the instructor have the availability? And what is the role? Again, are you more of a facilitator? Are you more of a synchronous instructor? I've taught courses both kind of ways, where I do live synchronous teaching in an online format, or more like this course that's more short videos and be able to facilitate students' learning process. Then the students, same thing. Do they have access to technology? Do students have computers? Do they have reliable access to the internet? Learning styles, not every student does well with technology. Some students do better face-to-face in class versus online, right? And then technology skill level. Not every student. You have a lot of students that have come back to school after being away from school for a long time, and their technology skill may not be at the highest, right? So that's important to consider. The course content is something you have to consider as well in terms of cognitive levels of the course. Is it a course that lends itself to technology, or is it a course that really is more hands-on, experiential? Those are all important things that you have to kind of consider. So this week really is about discussing the importance of considering all teaching strategies as you begin your journey as an instructor, using a combination of maybe all of them, or depending on what your favorite is, you choose a couple that you like. Hopefully you found this helpful. Have a nice week, guys. Take care.